Welcome to Chemistry 1. My name is Mr. Bailey, and I'll be your child's instructor for this coming school year. We're going to be starting virtually, but it's going to be a fantastic experience, and I can't wait till we get to be in person at some point in time down the road. This is my 23rd year teaching chemistry, 5 years at Lee Summit High School, and I helped open Lee Summit West and have been here ever since. Besides being a teacher, I'm also a father. I have a 10th grader and an 8th grader, so I'm seeing this whole process from both the parent side and the teacher side. And while it has its challenges and stresses on both sides of that equation, I'm pretty sure we're going to make it. I love doing chemical experiments, and anytime I can bring in demonstrations or have the kids do lab, I'm going to take the opportunity, because the wonder that kids have when they see a clear, colorless liquid like this, and then they mix it with a second clear, colorless liquid, and then something unusual happens, that starts to spark the mind and sparks the interest. What does that mean about what I'm seeing here? Why does this happen? And how does that change my understanding of the way the universe is put together? Those are all fantastic moments that I can't wait to share with your students. We'll spend a lot of our time together in Schoology while we are on this virtual education plan. So I wanted to introduce you to our Schoology side. There is a textbook down here, an online version. We're not going to spend a lot of time reading that together in detail, but it is available. On the right-hand side, there's an upcoming list of assignments with the due dates on them. That can be a helpful organization tool. If you know you're supposed to take a quiz, but you can't seem to find it, if you go to All Materials, you can click on Tests and Quizzes, and every quiz that's in the system so far shows up. Right now, there's only one quiz in the system. And inside the unit folder, you can see that we have a folder for every day. And if we're in a block schedule, you'll see two folders for that day, a part 1 and a part 2, because a block represents 2 normal class periods together. Our test is going to be scheduled for September 28th right now. And it's a list of things that we're going to do to get there. Inside each subfolder, instructions for the day. There'll probably be a discussion board for kids to interact with each other on. Some kind of instruction from my side, whether it be a video or some kind of tutorial. There'll be a handout for them to work through. And they'll turn in answers to any homework through an assessment like this here. In that assessment, usually it's some kind of self-graded format, so they can turn that in, get the answers back right away. And if they've missed any questions, they can actually turn this in more than once. The first time you submit it, the key becomes available to you. You can look over the key, look over your answers, and then submit the right answers the second time. It's probably likely that every student will get 100% on their homework in this system. Perfectly okay with that. I really just want kids to investigate the ideas and then try to validate their own thinking, try to see if it matches what is accepted by the class, and then to correct things if there's some misconceptions somewhere. Once we have done homework, there'll also be quizzes. Let me go to that section. There'll be a folder set aside for quizzes. And in that folder will be all the quizzes for the unit eventually. You have to get 80% on a quiz before the next quiz becomes available. We give you 3 attempts for each quiz. If you take it 3 times and can't get 80%, we simply ask you to communicate with me in person in some way, either through email or through a Google Hangout. We're going to have a one-on-one conversation. You're going to tell me what it is you don't understand or what you've looked up since then and now understand that you didn't used to. If you can convince me that you're not going to miss that kind of a question again, I'll be more than happy to give you an extra attempt on that quiz. In fact, we can go back and forth doing that until you figure it out. I don't care who figures it out first. I want to know which students eventually figure it out, and your grade will reflect that. After quizzes, of course, we have tests that you'll be able to take. If you miss any questions on a test, you'll be able to go back and correct those for half credit. It is going to require a more detailed explanation on the corrections, so try to miss as few questions as possible in that process. We also have labs, but we're not going to be sending home chemicals with you to do at home. So instead, we have pictures of lab experiments, lab processes. And if you need to read a thermometer, you're going to read it right off the picture. If you need to see what's happening with color changes, you'll be able to capture all that from the images that we give you. We also may do lab simulations, virtual simulations, or may do some video work as well to communicate those lab experiments. And we look forward to the day that you can come back to school and do these labs in person. If you need to get a hold of me for some one-on-one communication, email works great. In fact, if your email questions are useful to the entire class, I may post some of those in a discussion board so that we can all benefit from it, but I will leave your name out of it when I do so. I'm also going to be available in Google Hangout or Google Meet just about the entire time our class is in session, scheduled to meet. So that would be first hour on Mondays and Thursdays. In Google Meet, if you go in there and type in chemistry with Mr. Bailey, that is going to send you to whichever room I currently have open. So that nickname is going to work every day, no matter which Google Hangout I happen to be in. I look forward to seeing your kids in class on September 8th, and it's going to be good. We're going to be just fine as we do this together.